This is the address of the Ecclesiastical Authority, which is not me. It is the Standing Committee. There are 8 members of the Standing Committee, so this might sound a little personal, but it really comes from all of us. If you have had ancestry DNA testing, you might have had a surprise. I thought I knew all about my family's background, but when taking a close look deep into the past, the experts found what must have been some stories that no one ever repeated. My wife was surprised that I had so little Neanderthal DNA. And the surprises have launched me on an avocation as a genealogist, looking for those stories. New life is the forward-looking theme of this convention. And with the Bishop Provisional possibly coming on board at the beginning of December, I see lots of new life in our near future, as well as healthy and hearty life already here. But at this moment, I thought it might be useful to look at our diocesan DNA, and we will see if there are any surprises. I will offer quotes from 3 former bishops and 1 member of the diocese who is in the room. The first quote is from Bishop William Sylvester Tuttle, at one time a storied missionary bishop in the West who settled down in St. Louis as the Bishop of Missouri. We were one diocese when he addressed the convention in 1887, saying, "It needs no Latin scholar to know that missionary work means a sending out of our strength and help for others, and not a keeping of our strength and help for ourselves. So if unselfishness is the best one word to express what true Christianity is, that unselfishness, which is missionary, is the best kind of church life to aim at." My dear brethren who are clergymen, and today he would say, my brothers and sisters who are members of the clergy, I know how, if you are in earnest, the interests of your own parish and people must naturally absorb your attention and time. And I would not have you other than minders of your own business and diligent doers of the duty nearest at hand. But I beg you, do not allow that natural absorption to dwindle you down and dry you up into narrowness and selfishness. When large-hearted interest and wide-reaching sympathy are ours, we are ever so much like the Master. And narrowness is as unwise as it is ignoble. Brethren mine, your parish and people, if kept roused in missionary interest and to missionary sympathy and missionary giving, will run generously over in abounding gifts for your good parochial purposes. Missionary interest, missionary sympathy, missionary giving, mission, mission, mission. That unselfishness which is missionary is the best kind of church life to aim at. Here is a quote from Bishop Edward Robert Atwell, speaking in 1890 at the first convention of the Diocese of West Missouri. You will count me loyal to the church and not personally immodest, I hope, if I say, to get a bishop of your own, and a good bishop, is a prime essential for good work. I trust your prayers to God have been going up for this. I hope your earnest votes will be given for this. May God's special guidance be vouchsafed, I humbly pray. When God sends him, and today we would add, or her, gather to her side, stay up her hands, get close to her heart. Expect not perfection in her. Count not that she is by her energy and through her office can and will accomplish everything. Let her get a little used to the field ere you demand much of her. Give her time and keep your patience. And afterwards, let her feel that she is a general indeed, not left helplessly alone, but with captains and sergeants and regiments of rank and file, all alive to be led by her and work with her. Yours is a glorious missionary field. Talk missions, work missions, love missions from the very start. You have 24 parishes and 28 organized missions. You have 41 church buildings and 9 rectories. Of your 35 clergy, 27 are actively working. That's how we began. So all around the horizon, there is missionary work for you, and that too of a most promising kind. Kansas City, St. Joseph, Springfield, Sedalia, Carthage, ye that are strong, I beg you uphold the weak. I beseech you, as for your life, stand by the missionary work. And he continues, dear brethren, here and now you are to give tone to your diocese. You are to start the making of its future history. Be prudent, prayerful, earnest, kindly, unselfish, generous. Talk missions, work missions, love missions. Stand by the missionary work. The last former bishop I will quote is Bishop Arthur Vogel, speaking to convention in 1986. First and last, we are a community of mission. We are sent as the Son was sent by the Father in the power of the Spirit to carry the good news to others. We are sent to make a clear witness in the world by our proclamation, worship, and service. We are gathered together as God's people to move beyond ourselves by God's grace, not wringing our hands, cutting programs, and lamenting problems that arise in the course of our life together. We are a people whose victory has already been won by God for us, and we ought to act that way. First and last, we are a community of mission. Father John Spicer, present with us this afternoon, in his book, Beating the Boundaries, looked at fresh expressions in 9 congregations in the United States and in England. He said that they asked the same questions about their missional DNA. Where's the mission in your DNA? Whom are you trying to reach and how? What expression of ministry is God trying to create? How will you empower strong leadership and plan for governance? How will you identify success and failure? And back to his first point, where's the mission in your DNA? Well, mission is in our DNA. This diocese founded St. Luke's Hospital, one of the best hospitals in the nation for certain specialties. And it was the progenitor of an entire healthcare system. More recently, we founded Bishop Spencer Place. Those and some others are big missions. Please raise your hand and keep it up if your congregation cooks hot meals for hungry neighbors. And keep your hands up if your congregation gives food and other necessities to neighbors in need. If your congregation provides clothes for neighbors who are interviewing for jobs or just need to be warmed. Keep your hands up. Helps neighbors who are homeless or can't pay all of their rent or utilities. Does your congregation resettle immigrants from war-torn countries, welcoming them as new neighbors? Does your congregation provide worship services for Spanish-speaking neighbors? Keep your hands up. Now look around. That's just about every hand, and I'm guessing those that aren't up just got tired. And I could ask a few more questions. Has your congregation learned how to fight racism? Has your congregation reached out in mission in ways that I haven't mentioned? Small congregations or large, we know what we're doing. Missionary interest, missionary sympathy, missionary giving. Mission, mission, mission. That unselfishness which is missionary is the best kind of church life to aim at, Bishop Tuttle said. Mission has been in our DNA all along. That's really no surprise. Some other stories need to be told because we will find surprises when looking carefully at our DNA. But together with our Bishop Provisional, we will tell those stories and own them and heal or evolve where necessary. I offer one final brief quote from a bishop who has been looking at us and our DNA quite closely. Bishop Bruce said, "From my first set of interviews, I understood that the mission and ministry of the people of the Diocese of West Missouri to the communities in which they serve is planted deeply in their DNA. There is nothing stronger than that in this world. There is nothing stronger than that in this world." Thank you.